welcome to Upside. Seriously. So imagine if the T1000 had been investigated further. I mean, without going out the realms to start with of the impossible, they did record scenes of how the T1000 kind of investigated the world. I remember when I was a kid, I always used to love seeing how a Terminator would see its heads-up display, but you never got that with a T1000, which left us guessing whether that was on purpose or whether they just didn't know how to investigate that at the time. That's yet to be seen. But there was a scene where the T1000 has just killed John Connor's foster parents. He's then in John Connor's bedroom and he's like investigating the room, touchy-feely, floating around. Like every part of his body can sense, like checking for DNA and stuff like that. And I wish that was delved into a bit deeper. There is explanations online, but I wish it was delved into deeper the first time I saw the movie. Maybe not deleting that scene and keeping it in. And I know they had to keep a runtime, but maybe keeping things like that in. So imagine if they'd have done that, that'd have been great. There's other aspects as well. Limitations of the day. I know 1991 they struggled as it was to even create the T1000 with the limitations of CGI back then. I mean, this is before Jurassic Park and all stuff like that, so I get it. But imagine if there's a scene where the T1000 is chasing Sarah Connor, John Connor and the T800 in the helicopter and is shooting away and he's handling the helicopter and he's shooting away, and then he's reloading and there's another hand handling the helicopter, so he's got a third hand. They should have shown that and let it be known that this is how deadly this thing is. He can reload weapons and still use a third arm, create another arm, or create a fourth arm and fire off 2 weapons, 4 weapons, however many, and probably used the liquid metal aspect of him a lot more. And I do respect that CGI limited it, but they did have scenes where the T1000 had just been frozen by liquid nitrogen. He's then grabbing onto things and walking, and the liquid metal is mimicking everything it touches. The floor grating, the piping or handles or safety rails. They cut that out. That would have been brilliant in. What a waste of CGI, especially how much it cost back then. They should have kept things like that in and investigated it a whole lot more. I mean, the T1000 is the perfect villain, probably one of the best villains ever created. It just wasn't dug in deep enough for me. I would have liked it more. Like I say, I was a child back then. Today, I'm happy, but imagine if they had dug into it a lot deeper. There's a lot to be investigated with something like that. In Terminator Genesis, they took it a bit further, where a part of it was sensory and he could locate the other part of it. Yeah, that's a great idea. And being able to detach parts and use them as weapons, spears and stuff like that. That would have been good in Terminator 2. It might have over-dramatised it, or it might have gone really well. Like I say, I'm not trying to say that Terminator 2 wasn't good enough. I'm just saying, imagine if they'd have dug a bit deeper. Imagine if they'd have, shown us that it can do multitask and still carry on coming for you whilst multitasking. Imagine if they'd have given it the ability to be transparent. You've seen how they're trying to make tanks blend into the background by having screens here and then cameras that side, and then it'll project an image of what's behind it, so it then looks invisible. Has the T1000 got that ability? Could it have that ability? Should it have had that ability? Imagine if it had had that ability. They definitely had CGI technology to do stuff like that back then because the Predator was out. So they could have done it. Whether the T1000 is limited away from that, I do not know, because I've not dug into it. I've only thought it up on the fly. But imagine if it had had that ability as well and not had to worry about actually disguising itself as something, because it could have just disappeared into the background and come at you like the Predator would. That would have been a great great and scary ability. So these are just imagine if to get your brain thinking. I hope it's got you thinking a bit more. Have you ever had any ideas that you thought, I wish the T1000 had done that? Because this is episode 1 T1000. So have you ever thought, imagine if it could have done this, or what if it could have done that? Why didn't it do this, or why didn't it do that? Forget the limitations of the day. It doesn't matter about that. Go crazy about it. It's all fun. This is Upside Down 6. Peace out.